tight. Week 6 of the NFL season gets underway. So let's talk all things NFL. What has stood out? What are some of the biggest storylines as we get into week 6 of the season? Cody Stoots, longtime friend, excellent NFL voice, is going to be joining us to talk some football. Of course, it is the Jake Asman Football Show, and it starts right now.
Oh, yeah. It's time for the Jake Asman Football Show. Brought to you by BetUS. Expert betting odds and fantasy stats. So let's get into some NFL football. Brought to you by our friends at BetUS. So get your questions ready. Here's your host, Jake Asman.
Here we go. Back from London. So if you're wondering why we only had one Jake Asman Football Show, it's because I was traveling. So we're going to give you one today with Cody Stoots, then our usual Football Friday show with Cole Thompson. Both guys happen to be based in Houston, Texas. So let's say hello to Cody right now. Cody, good afternoon. How are you?
What's up, buddy? Good to be back on the Jake Asman Show.
So longtime subscribers of this channel might recall Cody and I doing radio shows on SB Nation Radio and ESPN Houston. But this is the first time Cody has been a guest on the Jake Asman Football Show since we launched it back in August. So, Cody, I appreciate you carving out some time. I think you're at the Texans facility right now, right?
I am. I'm in the annals of NRG Stadium trying to get good reception, good lighting. I failed on the lighting. We're going to talk some football, though.
You look good, man. You look good. Now, we'll start with the Texans because, well, you know what? Don't sell yourself short, man. I heard you had Chili's last night, though. That probably is not helping.
Triple dipper. The scale did not change this morning, so you take that for what it's worth.
That's the good stuff. Now, we're starting with your team, kind of, because one of the news this week is a Texans-related storyline. It's who they're going to be facing at quarterback this week when the Texans travel to New England. Drake May is now the latest rookie quarterback to be making their season debut. From your perspective, your thoughts on New England going with this decision now, because certainly there was a lot of pushback on whether or not Drake May's first game should be coming up against the Texans defense that has played very well.
I get why they make the move because, I mean, I've covered some teams where the quarterback play's been not good. You wanted to go to the other guy. I understand making the move. I just wonder if you could have waited one more week for this. Look, the Texans defense is rolling right now. They're going to finish as a top 5 run-stopping defense. They have the best pressure rate in all of football. Okay, best pressure rate in all of football. Let's combine that with most quarterback pressure allowed in all of football with the New England Patriots. It's a really, really tough task for Drake May this week. I hope it's a go to Drake May and stay with Drake May because it's not going to look good initially. Like the Texans might be down one of their cornerbacks, and they've basically only played 2 cornerbacks all year, but it's still going to be really tough for him to move the football. They've got Ramondre Stevenson banged up in New England. This is just a horrible, horrible spot for Drake May. I don't like it for him. I understand why you make the move. You got to save the locker room. You got to put some energy into this thing, but it's a rough spot for the rookie here on this one.
You know, staying with the Texans here, you look at the AFC, Cody. The Chiefs are undefeated, and going into the year, no one was going to count them out after what they've accomplished, going for that three-peat. The Ravens, after an 0-2 start, seemingly have righted the ship. They have looked very good with how they have played of late. And then there's the Texans, and I know every win has not exactly been pretty. Following your content and following this team from afar, but they're winning. Do you lump the Texans in with the Chiefs and the Ravens? Do you consider this Houston team, a true Super Bowl contender in the conference right now?
I do consider them a Super Bowl contender. I just can't put them in the same tier as the Chiefs and the Ravens. Now, they're going to get the opportunity to play both those teams in a 4-day stretch in December. Saturday, Wednesday, Christmas Day. They're going to get Kansas City on the road Saturday, at home against Baltimore on Christmas Day. They'll get a chance to prove that they're in that tier. But for the Texans, the important part of the schedule where they are right now is stack as many wins as you can. Avoid as many losses where you look back and you say, they shouldn't have lost that game, or they shouldn't have dropped that one. And you will play the likely or second most likely division winner in all the divisions. I mean, Kansas City is supposed to win the West, Baltimore's supposed to win the North, and you'll play the Jets or the Bills. I think the Bills probably are going to do it, but if the Jets are in there, you're going to play them. So you're going to be able to win tiebreakers on all of those. Well, you win all 3 of those games, you'll be the number one seed. You'll be the best team in the AFC, and you'll be the number one seed. Are you going to win all three of those? I don't know. I wouldn't be a betting man and say, I wouldn't go to BetUS and start betting on it right now. But you have the opportunity to win these tiebreakers if the record's the same and the way the schedule's set up. You have your ability to stack some of these victories where you look up and teams are having to chase you from an overall win standpoint, and you're not as worried about tiebreakers and things like that.
It's interesting because I was going to ask you about this, and I see Calzone in the comment section brought it up. You were at the game this past Sunday, Cody, Texans-Bills. Josh Allen looked like he was truly knocked out on the field. How the heck was he cleared to come back into that game?
Florio, of course, Mike Florio was going to have the breakdown on this with 2 minutes of football action, 6 minutes of regular real people time before Josh Allen was back. The rules must be different for quarterbacks because, you get dinged at another position and you're out for like 3 weeks. But quarterbacks can come in after 3 minutes. I don't know how Josh Allen's allowed to play. I don't know how he's not in concussion protocol. Like, it's one thing to get cleared in the game and then go in it after the game, because that happens sometimes, but he smashed his head on that turf, and I think he was out for a second, then he was up. I wonder if there were some, smelling salts or something like that, just to get him woke up and ready to go. But I don't know how he's allowed to come back in. He didn't look good when he came back in either.
No.
So that it's not like he came back in and everything was fine. It's like, oh, he just got dinged. Like he didn't look good when he came back in.
9 of 30 passing against this Texans defense on Sunday. A lot of my audience is obviously Jet fans, Cody. So we thank the Houston Texans for their service, because even with the Jets and their issues, firing Robert Saleh 2 days ago, the Jets win on Monday night at home against the Buffalo Bills, a team they've beaten the last 2 years. The Jets are in first place. So it's kind of amazing how wide open the AFC is. I agree with you with Ravens and Chiefs, maybe put them in their own tier, but the Texans are fastly approaching that tier, in my opinion, anyway, because of what they've been able to show so far. But the rest of the conference, is anyone else going to emerge? It just feels like there's a lot of mediocrity in the AFC right now.
Well, you've got so many teams that have like a really good excuse for why it stinks so far. Like Miami loses their quarterback, though Tua wasn't playing amazing when he was healthy. But Miami's got the excuses that they made. I can't figure out what Cincinnati's going on there. They've fallen apart. They can't win a football game. They can't close. Burrow's throwing for 5 touchdowns and losing a game. That shouldn't happen. We knew Cleveland was going to stink with Deshaun Watson. They're sunk while he's the quarterback. Pittsburgh's hanging around, but you believe in Justin Fields? I don't. Colts got their quarterback hurt, their running back hurt, their wide receiver hurt. Jaguars are falling apart. Tennessee's not a factor. And then
there's no one any good. It's amazing.
Maybe the Chargers figure this thing out, go on a little run, push a little bit. But even then, they're in Kansas City's division. So it's like, how can you be that confident in the Chargers? Best they could probably do is 5 after you got the 4 division winners. So, it is wide open past those top 2, because the Ravens and the Chiefs are the Chiefs, and the Ravens have had some of the most impressive performances to date so far in the AFC.
You're watching live right now. We're talking with Cody Stoots, all things NFL. Cody has covered the NFL for a long time, covers the Texans down in Houston. You can find his YouTube channel by typing in Cody Stoots on YouTube if you want to subscribe there. My former radio partner making his debut here on the Jake Asman Football Show. How about the NFC, Cody, entering week 6? Which teams kind of stand out to you there? It feels like maybe more wide open than some of us anticipated, yet you still have a team like the Detroit Lions building off what they did last year. Niners being 2-3 is a surprise. They have a bunch of injuries. How do you look at the NFC conference right now?
I'm not a believer that Minnesota's this good, but that defense has played really well, and they're doing enough on offense. Is that going to be a season-long thing? I don't know. I would tell you probably no, and I would tell you that the Lions probably creep close and eventually pass the Vikings, but they're off to such a good start. Like, have they put themselves in a position to steal one of those playoff spots? And how are you not impressed by the Commanders? I mean, you know the stat as well as anybody. You don't have repeat division winners in the NFC East. It hadn't been since Donovan McNabb and Andy Reid were doing it in the early 2000s. You don't have repeat division winners. So why couldn't the Commies be in the middle of this thing? And I still like Dallas a little bit, though. They are just banged up, man. They are banged up, and you got to think with all the money they've spent, some of their depth is not the most impressive depth that you've had. I think that catches up to them. And then I like Green Bay enough but I could see them getting lost in the shuffle if a couple of things go the wrong way. I don't know if anybody in the South. I know Tampa and Atlanta have had impressive moments to this point, but I don't know if anybody in the South. The Saints are about to fall apart. Like, they're very close to just falling off the face of the earth. Carolina stinks. And then the West, the West is always, it feels like a little kind of close early, and then somebody will separate themselves a little bit. Is that going to be Arizona? Like, can Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. and James Conner get enough going on offense every week for them? They're going to get some reinforcements back, guys off IR. Darius Robinson, their first-round pick, who I loved in this draft, he's going to get to play for them coming up here pretty soon. So they'll get a little bit of reinforcements on defense. But, I still love San Francisco's chances, especially if they get healthy. McCaffrey comes back. They got enough players and good coaching to win that thing. Now, are they big, scary San Francisco like they used to be? It doesn't feel like they are.
We're presented by BetUS. We have a Thursday night game tonight to kick off week 6 of the season. Seahawks and the Niners. So we'll see if the Niners can kind of right the ship here and get back on track, as Cody was just talking about. If you want to wager on this game, go to BetUS right now. They're offering a 150% sign-up bonus when you use promo code YouTube150. That's YouTube150 to take advantage of the special. Cody, I'll ask you, Niners are a 3.5-point road favorite in Seattle tonight. People not buying Seattle, at least in the betting markets here on BetUS. Your thoughts on the Thursday night game this evening?
That hook is fun because I could definitely see the 49ers winning by 3. Yep. And, so you take Seattle and you got the hook and you're all good to go. So that'd probably be the side if I had to pick a side. I'd probably go with that Seattle with that hook. I like that. But I love a Jawan Jennings touchdown catch tonight. All right? A Jawan Jennings touchdown catch. They love him there. And he's been sort of like that back of the wide receiver room guy. It's been hanging around there for a little while. He's had some moments here and there. He's had the big game earlier this year. I like him to get a touchdown catch tonight. So
how about that?
A little sprinkle there for the folks.
Dano wants to know, can Cody tell us what a hook is?
Yeah, the hook. So it's the half point. It's the half point there. So if it was 3, a field goal gets you a push, but you got the hook, you got the little extra, the half point. So if 49ers win by a field goal, you have the Seahawks, you're a winner, even though they're a loser.
Have you been surprised, Cody, by just how badly at times offenses seemingly have struggled to start this season? I know it's picked up a little bit, but it feels like defenses are starting to make a comeback, at least slowing down the offenses in the league.
I'm so tired of hearing about shells and cover twos. And the only shell I want is that magic shell that freezes on my ice cream. That's what I want to talk about. Okay. I'm tired about cover 2 and deep safeties and all that junk. I'm tired of it. Okay. I want quarterbacks to light stuff up. I want wide receivers to have big days. That's what I want. You saw a bunch of big quarterback performances over the past couple of weeks. I feel like they're catching up. I actually liked what offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick said about this a couple of weeks ago. He got asked about it. He goes, offenses just have to play better. Like, there's a bunch of guys not playing very well right now. So, like, if offenses just start playing better, they'll catch up to some of these defenses. But, it has been interesting to see teams try to take away explosive plays and deep shots and see which quarterbacks can get comfortable and take what the defense gives them. And, the old cliche, can't get broke taking a profit. Yeah, well, sometimes you need to make big money fast, all right? And you need to get an explosive play, and defenses have done a good job limiting that. Offenses will catch up. The league wants points. The league wants offense. They'll catch up.
He's Cody Stoots. My name is Jake Asman. A couple minutes left here with Cody. If you have any questions about the NFL, Cody will certainly be able to give you a good take on things, which is why he is on the show. You're also a big college guy, Cody. You're also a big draft guy. Yep. What are your early thoughts on some of these quarterbacks coming out for next season? You got a Heisman vote. I know you're locked into all the college every Saturday. Just give us a little feel for the upcoming QB class for those curious.
I'd be real scared if I had to have a quarterback. It's one thing if I could get one of these guys and sit him and let him actually sit and wait behind somebody that's, it's pretty good, but I wouldn't spend a top 10 pick on it like the Falcons did. There's some guys here that with a little bit of seasoning, I could see, they end up as a pretty fun player. Shador Sanders, I wouldn't want to deal with him and his dad. That'd be the thing.
That's a real thing. I agree with you.
Yeah, that would be the thing that would bother me. And then you look at some of these other guys and it's just like, I'm picking a trait. Like, there's not like a big, fun, toolsy guy. in this quarterback draft. So I'd be scared to death if I felt like if I had pressure from an ownership level to go get a quarterback, I'd be scared to put my name behind some of these guys here in this upcoming draft. I like a lot of the offensive linemen. There'll be some really good wide receivers. The running back position feels like it's back, and it's going to have a ton of dudes in this one after last year kind of having a barren running back class. So I'd be scared if I had to go have a quarterback. Now, you might find someone who you could sit for a year or two in the second, third round, and they might turn into something. But if I had to go top 5 on somebody, I'd be brushing my resume up because I'm probably getting fired for it.
All right, a couple quick hitters for Cody here before we wrap the Jake Asman Football Show today. Can Cody speak to Davante Adams' trade situation and give his thoughts?
Well, New Orleans feels like they're out, right? Carr's not even healthy, so New Orleans feels like they would be out. There's so many teams across the league that I'd be calling and just seeing if they were interested in Davante Adams. And there's so many teams that should be calling on him. Now, if he just wants to be comfortable somewhere and go where he's familiar, obviously the Jets make a tremendous amount of sense. I would tell you this, though, Jake. Let's see how deep that rivalry runs. If I was the Chiefs, I'd call the Raiders, and I'd say, I'll give you a 2 that could turn into a 1 if he does, X, Y, and Z. And then I'll give you a 3 next year that could turn into a 2 if he does X, Y, and Z. Let's see just how much you hate us, okay, Las Vegas. Let's see how much the Raiders hate the Chiefs, because they'd be foolish to pass up that deal, because I can't find anybody that's for sure saying he's going to cost this and teams are willing to pay it. Like, I've seen 3s. That's an easy one for me. Davante Adams for a 3, I'll figure the money out. Who cares about the money? I'll create fake bonus years and all that crap to make it work. Like, I'm not worried about the money. Okay, a 3 for one of the best wide receivers in football, the most targeted guy in football over the past 4 seasons. Come on, that's easy. That's easy. There's a ton of teams that should do it. Figure out if he's comfortable. What I want to know is, does the Taco Bell in his house make his house more valuable or less valuable?
It's a great point. And this is the stuff that people aren't talking about that Cody Stoots is on. Great point.
Can he get a Taco Bell in his temporary home wherever he gets traded?
Now, since you brought this up, this was a popular conversation on our former radio show back in the day. Cody Stoots, can you reveal to the Jake Asman Football Show audience your at your fattest Taco Bell order?
You're going to need a 20 plus for this. Okay. All right. So 2 soft tacos, no lettuce. 2 crunchy tacos, no lettuce. Crunchwrap Supreme, no lettuce. 2 cheesy gordita crunches, no lettuce. Now when I was at my fattest, they didn't have the little Cinnabon things that they like, the little cream-filled Cinnabon things. They didn't have those. I would add an order of those to my at my fattest order now, and let me get the biggest Pepsi Zero that you have as well. It used to be Diet Pepsi, but it's Pepsi Zero now. So that's a tremendous amount of food. Taco Bell's not as cheap as it used to be, and you're probably looking at $25 on there. And $25 at Taco Bell for multiple people, it makes a lot of sense. For one person, that's grotesque, but I could do that. I could take that down easy right now.
What do you have against lettuce?
I just don't like their lettuce that much. And a lot of times they'll make it, if they have something there already made that they didn't use, they'll stick it in your bag. But if they go no lettuce, which is lettuce comes on most of their things, they got to make it fresh for you.
BC writes in, dude, just get the 4 soft taco, 4 5-layer burritos for only $16.
I don't like Taco Bell's nacho sauce. So the items that have that, like the 5-layer burrito, I don't really enjoy that much. Their nacho sauce just doesn't hit right for me.
Nate says that's not that bad. That's a Monday night after a Jets loss.
There's been some shame eating for sure. Some shame and sadness eating. I think that my sadness eating was usually a pizza. I'd go get a pizza. There was a pizza joint where I lived in Lubbock. I'd walk there because I'd feel better about myself that I walked there. It wasn't that far, so don't give me a lot of credit. But I get the biggest pizza they got, loaded up, extra toppings, and then the Greek dressing that came on their salads. I'd get that and dip the pizza in it. I looked up the calories on the Greek dressing one time. It's more than like a slice of pizza. It's like, oh no, what have I been doing?
Cody, this is why you're one of the greats. No other way around it. Yeah, we bring you off of the football talk and the eating talk. There's nothing like it. Cody Stoots, one of the greats of our time.
Go try to pry Nico Collins away in your fantasy leagues. if that owner's getting skittish, he's worried, go try to pry Nico Collins away. He's going to miss the 4 weeks. I would tell you he's probably back right after that 4-week absence. So go try to pry Nico Collins away in some awful trade that the league will talk about for years.
There you go. Cody Stoots giving you some fantasy advice as well. Before we get out of here, once again, reminder, we're presented by BetUS. Take advantage of their special they have right now, 150% sign-up bonus when you use that promo code you see on your screen. YouTube 150. We got, of course, a Thursday night game later. If you're a baseball fan, playoff baseball continues. You can bet on that. You can really bet on anything. Player props, future bets, any sport, anytime. Check it out. Thanks to BetUS for being a part of the Jake Asman Football Show. Cody, great to catch up with you on air, my man. Thanks for doing this. And at the buzzer here, let people know one more time where they can find you.
Throw my name in your Google machine. You'll find everything you need, from the writing about the Texans at Houston football to the YouTube channel to any of the TV stuff they have me do that doesn't break their cameras. So it's good. Yeah, we're overdue for an off the air catch up that the people can't hear about. I mean, maybe you could put that on the preview channel or something.
It'll be the last video I ever posted. That's the case.
Demonetized. Strike. See you later.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Cody Stoots with us here on the Jake Asman Football Show. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Going to give you another one tomorrow where Cole and I will make some picks like we normally do because I'm back from London, so normal schedule starting tomorrow. He's Cody. I'm Jake. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the game tonight, everyone, and we'll talk to you soon.